Caitlin Clark is the absolute difference maker for the Indiana Fever.
Indiana's blowout win, it also delivered the third largest WNBA audience ever. And without Clark.
Another game without Caitlin Clark, it did not stop the fans from wanting to watch this.
Stop everything you're doing, because what just happened in the WNBA is unbelievable.
Caitlin Clark, Indiana Fever, they're a draw.
Caitlin Clark didn't take a single shot. She didn't log 1 minute on the court, and yet she shattered records just by being in the building.
It is the best thing that could have happened for the WNBA. You've now got, say, 1.9 million people watching this game without Caitlin Clark, and they can say, look, it's not just Caitlin. It is just the Indiana Fever, sure, but at least they're able to say that. However, no player has been able to get people to care about a team quite like Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, you heard that right. No points, no assists, just her presence, and it turned a regular season game into one of the most watched events in league history. This isn't just star power. This is Caitlin Clark gravity. And today, we're diving into the mind-blowing moment that proves she's not just changing the game, she is the game.
Indiana Fever riding high, continue to fly high on the ratings.
Let's break down what happened just 2 minutes ago that has everyone in sports talking. It was supposed to be just another regular season game. Indiana Fever versus the Chicago Sky. No playoffs, no championship on the line, and most shockingly of all, no Caitlin Clark on the court. She was sidelined due to a minor calf injury, yet somehow, despite her not playing a single second, this game pulled in a jaw-dropping 1.92 million viewers on CBS.
2 million viewers without Caitlin Clark.
That's right, nearly 2 million people tuned in just because she was in the building. Think about that for a second. The WNBA, a league that for decades struggled to gain national TV traction, suddenly had a regular season game rank as one of the top 10 most watched matchups since 2001. And the biggest star wasn't even playing. The cameras couldn't stop cutting to her on the bench.
Caitlin Clark is a superstar globally.
Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
And she was the MVP. She is the main draw.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
Caitlin Clark is the absolute difference maker for the Indiana Fever.
Social media blew up with clips of her cheering, smiling, and hyping up her teammates. She didn't dribble once, but she dominated the spotlight.
When Caitlin Clark goes with the Valkyries, it's going to be crazy. When she goes to Golden State, that game's going to be crazy. You've seen what it is with the Valkyries.
Fever Sky delivered an audience on par with Red Sox Yankees on ESPN's Sunday Night Baseball.
What we saw wasn't just interest, it was obsession. Broadcasters scrambled to capture every glimpse of her. Fans in the arena didn't care that she wasn't suiting up. They were just thrilled to share a roof with her.
For the Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky game, Caitlin Clark missed to injury. It's the third most watched WNBA game of the 2025 season.
It was as if Beyonce showed up to a concert just to sit in the front row. The mere presence of Caitlin Clark was enough to elevate the entire event into a media spectacle.
Another game without Caitlin Clark, it did not stop the fans from wanting to watch this. I told y'all what it was. Long as we got to do is keep supporting the team, Caitlin Clark will be back in no time.
And here's the craziest part. This wasn't a one-time fluke. This game marked the third most watched WNBA broadcast of the 2025 season, behind only 2 other games that she actually played in. That means her star power is so potent, it still commands primetime numbers even when she's off the court.
The first time ever a WNBA regular season or playoff game aired in prime time on broadcast television.
She didn't need to drop 30 points or hit a buzzer beater. She just needed to exist in the building. This is the kind of influence we've never seen before in women's basketball, and maybe not in any sport.
Saturdays, Fever Sky WNBA regular season game averaged 1.92 million viewers on CBS, marking the 8th largest WNBA regular season audience since 2001.
The WNBA wasn't airing in national prime time before Caitlin Clark. Now games are being slotted on CBS and ESPN like they're NFL Sundays.
Caitlin Clark effect, there has been so much of an influx in attendance and jersey sales and viewership, all the things.
Not because of team rivalries or playoff races, because of her. This isn't marketing hype.
That's about star power, narrative, and likability.
It's not media spin, it's cold, hard numbers. Nearly 2 million people turned on their TVs for a game where the biggest draw never even stepped on the court.
Caitlin Clark comes into the WNBA, goes through college. She has panache, she has style.
That doesn't happen for just any athlete. That only happens for a generational icon. And Caitlin Clark has officially crossed that line.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
She's so good at basketball.
If there was ever any doubt about Caitlin Clark's impact, it vanished the moment the ratings rolled in. This isn't just about a few viral clips or a social media buzz.
Fever and Sky is a rivalry people seem to want to watch.
This is a full-blown phenomenon. Her debut game against the Chicago Sky earlier this season pulled in a staggering 2.7 million viewers on ABC, making it the most-watched WNBA game in over 20 years.
The absence of Caitlin Clark, the Fever-Sky rivalry delivered one of the top 10 largest regular season or playoff WNBA audiences in the past 2 decades on CBS.
And if you thought that was a one-off moment, her next game against the New York Liberty brought in 2.2 million viewers on CBS.
When Caitlin Clark goes with the Valkyries, it's going to be crazy. When she goes to Golden State, that game's going to be crazy. You've seen what it is with the Valkyries.
Another massive number, and it didn't stop there. The recent Fever blowout win, with Clark sitting on the bench, peaked at 2.16 million viewers. It was the third largest audience of the WNBA season. So let's be clear, Caitlin Clark is not just a draw, she's the draw. She's redefining what audience engagement looks like in women's sports.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
She's so good at basketball.
Caitlin Clark is undeniably the offensive engine.
Because she's that awesome person and she has like a lot of aura, so like...
Cannot deny the impact that she's made on this sport.
What's more incredible is the domino effect she's causing. Networks like ABC, CBS, and ESPN are now fighting for broadcasting rights to Indiana Fever games. Not because the team is undefeated or packed with championships.
Caitlin has always been an underrated athlete. She's the fastest player in the league to me with the ball in her hands, and she was the best guard finishing around the rim last year. She shot a bunch of it, and it's been the whole preseason where it looks to me like on her deepest shots, she is just getting them off like they're nothing, like they're routine, because nobody else is shooting from this distance regularly, and she's doing it with a flick of the wrist.
But because Caitlin makes every game a must-watch event, she's pushing WNBA games into prime time, something that had never happened before in league history. Let that sink in.
Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
She is the main draw. She is the needle mover.
And she was the MVP.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
A regular season WNBA game aired on primetime network television. Not a playoff game, not a finals game. Simply because Caitlin Clark was involved. That's not just attention, that's power. Broadcasters are betting on her. Sponsors are pouring in because of her.
Cannot deny the impact that she's made on this sport.
Every time she's announced in a lineup, ticket prices skyrocket. Cities she doesn't even play in are seeing sellouts because people hope to catch even a glimpse of her. And the moment she steps onto the court, social media explodes. Her highlights trend, her interviews go viral, and the conversation shifts.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
She's so good at basketball.
Caitlin Clark is undeniably the offensive engine.
Because she's that awesome person and she has like a lot of aura, so like...
Suddenly everyone's talking about the WNBA. This kind of pull is unheard of. There are seasoned veterans in the league who've never come close to these numbers. But Caitlin, she's doing it as a rookie. She doesn't need to grow into the spotlight. She walked into the league and became the spotlight.
Caitlin Clark, box office, Caitlin Clark's team, Indiana's blowout win, which peaked with 2.16 million viewers, delivered the third largest audience of the WNBA season behind the team's meeting on ABC, the opening Saturday of the season, that did 2.7, and Fever Liberty on CBS the following week, that did 2.2.
She's not just raising awareness, she's dragging the WNBA into the mainstream with her, one game at a time. She's the reason a new generation of fans is tuning in.
1.92 million viewers is still crazy. Like that's probably one of the top 15 most viewed WNBA games of all time.
She's the reason a previously niche sport is now drawing NFL-level viewership. And whether she's playing or not, one thing's guaranteed. If Caitlin Clark is in the building, people are watching.
The absence of Caitlin Clark, the Fever Sky rivalry delivered one of the top 10 largest regular season or playoff WNBA audiences in the past 2 decades on CBS.
What's even more revealing is that the same Fever Sky matchup is being scheduled again for national primetime television in August. The expectation that with Caitlin Clark active and playing, the numbers could smash previous records. Some insiders are even predicting 3 to 4 million viewers. That's all-star game territory. That's bigger than some playoff games in other leagues. All because of one player. This kind of influence is unheard of. It's not just about popularity, it's about economic value. Broadcasters are betting on her, sponsors are lining up for her, and fans are buying tickets in cities she doesn't even play in, just for the chance to maybe see her on the bench. Let's not forget, there are players in the league who've been around for a decade and have never sniffed a million-view game. And yet here comes Caitlin Clark, fresh out of college, and she's redefining what star power actually means.
Caitlin has always been an underrated athlete. She's the fastest player in the league to me with the ball in her hands, and she was the best guard finishing around the rim last year. She shot a bunch of it, and it's been the whole preseason where it looks to me like on her deepest shots, she is just getting them off like they're nothing, like they're routine, because nobody else is shooting from this distance regularly, and she's doing it with a flick of the wrist.
Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
She is the main draw. She is the needle mover.
And she was the MVP.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
She's creating a new standard, not just for rookies, not just for women's basketball, for any athlete in any league. And for those who try to minimize it by saying, oh, it's just the Fever brand, the answer is simple. There was no Fever brand before Caitlin Clark. Indiana wasn't drawing millions before she got there. The only consistent factor in every top-rated game this season has been one name, Caitlin Clark. So when you hear that 1.92 million people tuned in to watch a game she didn't even play in, understand this. It's not luck. It's not hype. It's not a fluke. It's Caitlin Clark doing what no one else can.
1.92 million viewers is still crazy. Like that's probably one of the top 15 most viewed WNBA games of all time.
Breaking records just by being in the building. Before Caitlin Clark, WNBA primetime didn't exist. That's not an exaggeration. It's a historical fact. For over 2 decades, regular season or playoff games in the league never made it to network broadcast television's primetime slot. They were aired in the afternoons, buried on secondary networks, or lost in a crowded sports calendar. But Caitlin changed all that. The Fever versus Sky game, where she wasn't even playing, became the first WNBA regular season game ever aired in primetime on CBS, one of the biggest national platforms. The result? Nearly 2 million viewers, and the network's not done. Another Fever versus Sky matchup is already scheduled for August 9th in primetime.
CBS is also set to carry the same Fever Sky matchup in primetime August 9th.
And this time, the expectation is that Clark will be back on the floor. If that happens, experts are forecasting 3 to 4 million viewers, potentially making it the most watched WNBA game of all time.
1.9 million viewers for the Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky game. A game Caitlin Clark missed to injury. It's the 3rd most watched WNBA game of the 2025 season.
And here's the thing. She's not just bringing fans. She's bringing money. She's making broadcasters care. She's forcing corporate sponsors to open their checkbooks. And she's showing the league what it means to be truly marketable. Ratings are no longer a problem for the WNBA. As long as Caitlin's name is on the marquee, she is single-handedly moving the WNBA into mainstream territory where companies like Nike, State Farm, and Gatorade are not only advertising during games, but investing in the league's future. Let's be clear, Caitlin Clark is the economic engine of this league right now. And whether other players and media personalities want to admit it or not, everything they're doing, from sponsorship deals to TV contracts, is happening in Caitlin Clark's shadow. She's the one creating leverage. She's the reason new collective bargaining agreements will likely include more money, more benefits, and more exposure. Just look at the ripple effect. Because of Clark, rookies are coming in with bigger endorsement deals than some league veterans.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
She's so good at basketball.
Caitlin Clark is undeniably the offensive engine.
Because she's that awesome person and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
Cannot deny the impact that she's made on this sport.
The Fever, who were a forgotten franchise last year, are now the most talked about team in women's sports. They're leading every ratings chart, they're being broadcast in every major market, and their merchandise is flying off shelves. It's not just about the WNBA either. Caitlin's impact is bleeding into the entire landscape of women's sports. College viewership records were shattered during her run at Iowa. She made NCAA women's basketball a headline event, and now she's doing the same for the pros. Girls aren't just wearing her jersey, they're emulating her game, quoting her interviews and flooding gymnasiums just to get a glimpse of her warming up. And what's truly wild is how she's being undervalued even as she revolutionizes the league. Some media voices and veteran players have tried to downplay her importance.
So in 2024, she averaged 16.5 points per game, 4 assists, 5.5 rebounds. She shot 37% from the field and 31.8% from three. Now, if you look at her preseason in 2025, she only played 2 games in this preseason, and one was against that Brazilian national team. She played 21 minutes. She averaged 14.5 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. She shot 52.5% from the field and 50% from three-point range.
But here's the truth. While they debate, Caitlin is delivering results, tangible ones. Data doesn't lie. Viewership goes up when she's involved. Social engagement skyrockets when she's mentioned. And ticket prices, they double, sometimes triple, when the Fever come to town. You want proof she's building something bigger than herself? Look at the new fans, the ones the old guard complain about. These aren't just temporary viewers. They're staying. They're watching games with and without Clark. They're learning names like Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell. But why did they show up in the first place? One reason, Caitlin Clark.
It's more statistical proof, data to confirm exactly what we've been saying, that Caitlin Clark is driving this whole ship.
She's introducing an entire generation to the league, and that has permanent consequences because once people care, they don't stop caring. Once they start following storylines, they don't walk away. The WNBA isn't just surviving anymore. It's thriving because Caitlin Clark turned what used to be a niche league into a national conversation.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
She's so good at basketball.
Caitlin Clark is undeniably the offensive engine.
Because she's that awesome person and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
Cannot deny the impact that she's made on this sport.
Caitlin Clark didn't just break a ratings record, she broke the mold. No minutes played, no shots taken, and still 1.92 million people showed up just to witness her presence. That's not hype, that's history. What we're watching isn't just a rookie season, it's the rebirth of an entire league. The WNBA isn't just getting more attention, it's entering a new era. And leading that charge is one woman, redefining what it means to be a superstar before she's even hit her full stride.
Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
And she was the MVP.
She is the main draw.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
She's so good at basketball.
Because she's that awesome person and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
It is undeniable that Caitlin Clark is the engine.
Caitlin Clark effect. There has been so much of an influx in attendance, in jersey sales, and viewership, all the things.
That's about star power, narrative, and likability.
Caitlin Clark comes into the WNBA, goes through college. She has panache. She has style.
Caitlin Clark's injury is going to massively affect the WNBA. It's going to massively affect the league.
So if you're still wondering why the cameras won't stop rolling, why arenas are selling out, and why headlines scream her name, it's simple. Caitlin Clark isn't just in the WNBA. She is the WNBA. And this is just the beginning. If you believe in what she's building, if you see her changing the game in real time, drop a comment 100% down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, because we're bringing you every twist in the Caitlin Clark revolution as it happens. Until next time, keep watching history unfold.